Okay, good morning and welcome back to Question Intense with me, Matt. Okay, a lovely day, beautiful, crisp sort of winter's morning. Done the school run, the house is mine, so here we are with another review. Now this is a slight change to what I was going to do today, because I've got quite a few new fragrances that I really want to get a review done of. But as you may be able to detect from my schnoz, I've got yet another cold. So what we're going to do today, and I don't think anybody else has actually done this, but what I'm going to do is we're going to have a look at my favourite house, which is Orto Parisi. And today I'm going to give a rundown of the entire collection. Now I've got lots of different perfumes from lots of different houses, but Orto Parisi is the only house that I actually have the entire collection. So I haven't seen anybody else on YouTube do this, so this will be a good point of reference. And what I'm going to do is not give a full review on every fragrance, because that would take forever, but a brief chat about each fragrance, what I think of them. This isn't in any list because honestly, apart from one, I adore them all for their own reasons. So let's get into it. Now, Alessandro Gualtieri first sort of captured everybody's imagination, not with his first project, but with his second project, which was Nasomato, the Crazy Nose. And I loved most of those, to be honest. I thought they were really, really good. I only own two, which are Blamage. And look at that bottle. It's just absolutely amazing. So that's Blamage. And the other one I own from Nasomato is Pardon, probably my favourite scent of all time. I just adore this fragrance. I adore all these as well. So in 2014, Alessandro Gualtieri announced that he was not going to be adding any more perfumes to the Nasomato collection, and he had launched a new collection which he called Orto Parisi. And in 2014, they were a release of 5 different perfumes. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the 2014 releases, and then we'll come up to speed through the rest of them up to the latest. So the first one we're going to look at today from that is called Brutus. All the Orto Parisis come in these same bottles and these really, really heavy caps. And they all have a unique take on it. So they're all slightly different colours and they've all got a different kind of material inside them. Really, really good. So Brutus came out in 2014. And in some respects, this is the least challenging of all of them. This is, I mentioned in my full review of Brutus that this is a good starting point. It's sometimes, I think it's the weakest of the Orto Parisi collection. And other times I think it's probably one of the most standouts. So it's quite a contradictory scent, but this is a non-challenging cozy wear. The notes with all of the Orto Parisi collection, there are no notes listed, so it's all about interpretation, what you can smell yourself, and obviously lots of people have discussed it online, so there's lots of varying opinion as to what's in them. So with Brutus, you've got citrus, you've got some fruits, you've got some patchouli, you've got some woods, and you've got some musks. Now, with the citrus, don't think this is a light citrusy fragrance, because it's not. It's still quite heavy. It's not as heavy as some of them, but it's not a light summery fragrance at all. It does do well in the summer, but it's not a light freshy by any means at all. It's still very much a Gualtieri perfume, so it's still quite heavy, it's still quite musky. It's very, very easy to wear. It's one you can wear anywhere. It's completely unisex, really, really good, and a great starting point if you're sort of building up to something a little bit more challenging. Next up, we have Buccaneer. Now, Buccaneer is a chocolatey, chili, ginger, sandalwoody. Again, no notes. What I can seem to get from this is chocolate, is musk, is ginger. There's supposedly rumoured to be chili in it. I don't really get any chili from it, but it's kind of a bit like Black Afghano, but with a chocolatey vibe. So it's almost a gourmand, but I think the animalic musks that run through it stop it from becoming too much of a gourmand. Again, a slightly different cap. This is an amazing fragrance. I really, really love this. The performance on this is absolutely outstanding. It lasts all day. decent projection for the first couple of hours, but incredibly long lasting. And if you get it on clothes, it will be on your clothes forever. So be careful with this one. This again is not a shocking fragrance. It's a real easy wear. It's quite sweet, it's quite rich, and it's quite dark. Lovely, lovely stuff. Really, really enjoy that one. Next up, we have possibly, on any given day, this could easily be my favourite, and this is Musk. Now, the name implies that this is musk and bergamot, but I don't think it is. I've done quite a lot of delving into this. There's a lot going on here. The bergamot is a waxy, heavy take on the fruit, but it also smells like there's more maybe orange or mandarin or maybe even orange blossom in there to lift it, because it is a heavy, this isn't a light freshie, this is a heavy fragrance. Now, apparently, in a place in Italy called Bergamo, there is a festival where the revelers wear masks and jump around and get all hot and sweaty and stuff. So Bergamo and mask, Bergamask, kind of makes a bit more sense than bergamot and musk. This is an interesting one. You will definitely need to try it, because people that have bought this thinking it's just going to be like a bergamot style fragrance have been a bit disappointed or a bit spun out. The musk in this is a deer musk, or I'm pretty sure it's a deer musk. It's very animalic, and there's almost like a sweaty vibe to this as well. So it's, yeah, it's not light and it's not refreshing, but it is absolutely stunning. And this is one of my most complimented fragrances. There's something happens to this, especially when it's hot. I think there's lots of aroma chemicals in it. It radiates. It just smells amazing in the air around you. When I first wore it, as I mentioned in my full review of this, I was getting compliment after compliment after compliment, and I didn't understand why, because on my skin it smelled nice, it smelled great, but it didn't smell that extraordinary. And the level of compliments that I got, or I get, from Bergamask, especially when it's hot, is off the hook. I don't think I've got anything like it that reacts in hot weather like that just gives you so many compliments. It can be worn in cold weather, and I do wear it in cold weather because it reminds me of the summer, it reminds me of heat, and it reminds me of feeling cool. So yeah, don't think of this as purely just a summer fragrance, because it does work all year round. But when it's hot, it belts out. It just comes alive. Again, completely unisex, absolutely gorgeous. Can't say enough good things about Bergamask. I absolutely love it. Excuse me. Next up, Veridi. Now, Veridi is named after some kind of green fungus, and this is an interesting fragrance. I think this was my first one from Orto Parisi, actually. Slightly different cap yet again. This is it's got a really strange opening. It's minty. It's not quite fresh because of the musk. It stops it from being fresh, and there's cloves there. It does remind me a little bit of Amouage's Bracken Man, but the animalics in this stop it from going down that the same route. So it's not the same as Bracken Man, but there's certainly similarities to it. I love this. There's a sandalwood base in this, which is gorgeous. You can wear this to work. You can wear this anywhere. It's quite loud for the first hour. It's quite long lasting. It's not as potent as the others, but it's certainly worth having. And as you can see, I've worn it quite a bit. It's just, I don't know, there's something about this that I absolutely adore. Difficult to describe. One that you'll need to smell. If you've smelt Bracken Man from Amouage, you will know roughly what this is going to open like. But as it goes on, it becomes more musky, it becomes more sandalwoody. And although it's green, it's not a sharp green. It's not like, you wouldn't class this as a fougere, you wouldn't class this as sort of polo green or something like that. It's completely different. So don't let the colour of the juice sort of make you think you're getting something that you're not, because this is green in the opening, but then it transfers. There's some vanilla in this as well, maybe tonka bean, that give it a slightly different edge. Really, really interesting. Highly recommend sampling. I'm going to say it quite often throughout this review. Don't blind buy any of these. Make sure you sample them first. Okay, and now of the original 5 releases, the last one is called Sturkis. As you can see by the colour of the liquid, all the liquids are a different colour and they're all quite crazy. Again, a different cap. Sturkis is a Latin word meaning excrement. So I love this, and so does Rich. Now, if someone had told me 3 years ago or 4 years ago that I would be wearing a perfume named after shit and going out, I would have said you're absolutely mental. No, I'll never do that. Who would honestly want to smell like feces? It's insane. But this is absolutely glorious. It doesn't smell of human feces. It does have an animalic funk. If you're into your oud, and especially Hindi oud, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, because this has that, an opening of, it smells to me like a sweet Hindi oud. So you have a very barnyardy, animalic, funky smell, which, you know, some people call very sexy. I think this is a sweet, absolute joy. It gets compliments. It's not massive in projection, but it does project quite well for the first couple of hours. And like all of these, it does seem to really, really last. It's a thick, heavy juice. I mean, the colour of it does kind of go into that. If you look at Alessandro Gualtieri on his Instagram and stuff like that, he's forever putting up photos of manure and things that he thinks look like an anus, and all this love your, you know, love what's in you, I think was his, or respect what's in you was, I think, one of the slogans he's used for it. So he's really trying to filthy this up and make it into something that's absolutely kind of like crazy. But to wear it, it's not. It's a sweet, very dry, very woodsy, slightly nutty, slightly leathery, animalic. I think you've got some tobacco in here. It wears incredibly well, and it does last a very long time. And as I say, I've had compliments wearing this, so it's, you know, it's not repulsive, and it won't turn you, you know, it won't make you walk around smelling like a human barnyard or something like that. You will need to sample it, obviously, but it's a great, great fragrance, and one that I adore. And in the winter, I'm going to be wearing this. It's just glorious. Okay, so after these were released, there was a bit of a hiatus. A year later, 2 years later, in 2016, Gualtieri released Seminalis, which, like Sturkis, is strangely named, shall we say. This is a sweet, woodsy, creamy, beautiful. There's a bit of patchouli in here. There's a little bit, maybe a little bit of oud, maybe a little bit of cacao. It smells like kind of almondy condensed milk leading into a creamy, one of the most beautiful, sweet, creamy sandalwoods that I've ever smelled. If you like patchouli, there's a bit of patchouli in here that gives it a little bit of sharpness. This is an absolute dream in a bottle, one that can be worn everywhere. It's sweet, it's glorious, it's like a warm hug. But like Sturkis, its name, Seminalis, is basically sperm. I think this was Gualtieri's attempt at making or recreating what he thinks human sperm should smell like. Obviously, this doesn't smell like sperm. This is a beautiful, sweet treat. It's completely unisex, and it's completely glorious. I absolutely love this fragrance, and it is just, oh, it's to die for. I could wear this every day. Right, then after that came the big one. Possibly my favourite fragrance, and certainly in my top 3 of all time, and that is Toroni. Orto Parisi's Toroni. This is an ode to a volcano, and this is meant to represent a volcano, and it does that perfectly well. Look at the colour of the juice. Sorry, I can see the sun streaming in again. And you have like a dried lava on the top of the cap. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It's also one of the biggest fragrances that I own, and certainly one of the biggest fragrances that I've ever worn. It has amazing power. There's smoke, there's lava, there's earth, there's terracotta, there's a paprika-like note, there's roasted nuts, there's sweetness, there's musk. There's everything you would expect in a crazy perfume in this right away. Biblical performance. It kicks out, it's smoky, it makes a massive impression. There's a full review on this below, so please have a look. It's something that I think everyone should try at least once. Even if it's not for you, you need to have experienced this. I cannot recommend this perfume enough. It's a beautiful, beautiful perfume. I would say this is a masterpiece. A true, true work of art, and one of the most important fragrances in my collection. Absolutely adore it. The big, the bold, the brash, the massive Toroni by Orto Parisi. Have a look at that. Fire in a bottle. And finally, in 2019, the last one that's been released from this collection, Megamara. Look at the cap, it's beautiful. Megamara is an aquatic, but it's not like any other aquatic you've ever smelt. This is heavy. This is like, there's a full review of this as well, but this is like a sweet, musky, almost fruit-like fragrance that's been dipped in the sea. You get a genuine wonderful smell of the sea from this, and it gets compliments like nothing on earth apart from Burger Musk. You do get a lot of compliments from this, especially in the first couple of hours. It projects well to start off with, but then it will stay on your skin with moderate projection, but it lasts forever. Don't get it on clothing because you will never get it out of that clothing. It really, really is such a massive performer. I think it's quite unique in that respect because I've never come across an aquatic that lasts like this. It is, it's just amazing. I mean, I've hammered that bottle. I've got through so much of it. I love it. It's really, really good in hot weather because although it's heavy, it's still, it lasts so long, you've not got to worry about it. It's with you until you, not wash it off, you've got to scrub it off. This is such an intense perfume. It's amazing. Again, you will need to sample this. It's not going to be for everyone. And to be honest with you, none of these are going to be for everyone. And that's probably why I'm so drawn to the house. They're all unique. There are, I have been talking to some people, and a lot of them, and the same can be said for the Nasamotos as well. Gualtieri likes to use a certain type of musk, and that musk, if it kind of runs through all of them. So, you know, someone was saying recently that they found that Burger Musk and Seminalis smell the same. They don't smell the same at all. They're completely different, but they do share a common musk, which if you are in tune to pick out that musk, you will notice it and you will think, oh right, that reminds me of, but they don't smell the same. They do, as I say, share a common ingredient or a common note. So, you know, that will give some kind of similarity. But listen, I think this is my favourite house, obviously, and certainly the only collection I have is in its entirety. If you've got any questions about this, please put the questions down below and I'll get round to answering them as soon as we possibly can. Please try these. They're, as I say many, many times, they're not going to be for everyone, but I think it's an exciting house that needs to be explored. I'm so happy to have them in their entirety. It's taken me a good few years to collect them all, and I finally have, and now I'm going to be sourcing backup bottles of a few of them. But listen, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully my cold will have gone, and I've got a lot of really, really interesting reviews to get through. Rich and I have been swapping samples around, so we're going to get quite a lot out to you as soon as I can actually sort of enjoy them. The reason I can get away with this is because I've worn these hundreds and hundreds of times, and I know them inside out, to me anyway. Well, listen, as always, thank you very much, and sorry about the light. I'm really, it's been a strange review. So I've got no sense of smell, and I can't see a thing. So hopefully this is going to be all right. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. As always, thanks very much, and bye!